Tom, I knew him in college, but not really. He was a couple years older. But I knew Lois, his wife, very well. She was the first girl I met when I showed up at the IU campus. When they chose to come to town from Florida, it was a delight to meet up with some old friends. And the beauty of Tom, when he came to town, he hit the ground running.
I met Tom Dusthimer when he was first hired to come and be the chairman of the First National Bank of Elkhart.
Quite frankly, the bank hadn't been doing as well as they should have been doing. He quickly adapted to the dynamic relationship, get her done now mindset of Elkhart. Tom developed relationships very quickly, and many of those relationships went to the bank for help. Tom helped them, and there are companies here today that are here because Tom Dusthimer befriended them as people.
Tom was the kind of person who believed in young upstarts, needed money to buy into an oral surgery practice, and his was the only bank that would give it to me. And we became friends then.
Tom, without question, was interested in success stories regardless of who you were, where you were from.
Tom was the antithesis of what the historical banker was. I mean, he was outgoing, he was friends with everybody.
His office was always on the first floor. You walk in the front door of the First National Bank of Elkhart, turn right, and there he was. He was always right there and would have talked to anybody and everybody about banking or about their business or whatever.
As successful as Tom was in the banking industry, he was very supportive of the other banks in Elkhart County. Never did I hear him say anything derogatorily with regards to one of his competing banks. He was just so pro-Elkhart County. His concern for other people was much greater than I think many people might have realized because he was such a fun-loving guy. He and Lois were extremely generous philanthropically.
Tom was one of the real champions for junior achievement early on. He was, I think, the guy who really got it started again in Elkhart.
When the CUNY Foundation got started, First National Bank gave them free office space and dedicated an employee. That's kind of what helped the foundation get started.
Humane Society was a dear friend of his.
He would stop by on his way home from golf just to see how things were.
He was a supporter of darn near everything. Every good human service organization, he was there to support them.
He touched so many lives in this county. We're here to honor Tom, but Lois was definitely a backbone to Tom.
Tom had the advantage of having adult supervision from the day he met Lois, and so I think that probably kept him focused a lot better than most people realize.
Well, you can't talk about Tom without talking about his pants.
I always kind of like to walk a few paces behind him because you could see the women would always turn their heads back and watch him go by, and then they'd poke their husband or whoever they were walking with and say, "Did you see that? Did you see those pants?"
As everyone knows, Tom's second love, other than his family, was golf.
Take a lot of golf trips, a lot of laughs, a lot of fun dinners.
We went a lot of places to play golf and just really had some great fun together.
He played golf with anybody. He could play golf with the CEO of a company or some guy he met on the street.
Following his death, we organized a golf outing to give the money to the Humane Society.
Got a hold of several pair of his pants, and they made flags out of those pants for each hole on the golf course. We took his golf shoes, 18 pair of them, and used them as tee markers. We raised $52,000 during that golf outing to support this cat room at the Humane Society.
There's no one that could be more deserving of this award than Tom Dusthimer.
Really great to have people like Tom Dusthimer that you can count on to be there and support you. He was just a star. The way he treated people, he just had a way of making people feel good.
Tom never met a stranger. He would, without question, introduce himself, find something in common to talk about, and during that conversation, the other party would walk away saying, you know, what a nice man he was.
He was always happy, we always laughed, and had a great time.
Great family man, great people person, all about Elkhart, all about banking, and I don't know what else you can say about him. He just was a really, really good friend.